Yeah. So first of all, good morning, everybody. Okay. Lovely to see all the young people here, enthusiastic about computers, software, and everything in between. Yeah. So before I start, I want to tell you, I want this to be very interactive as much as I can, and please feel free to reach out to me. I'm not a guy who just talks and then want you to listen. So if you have any questions, any doubts, feel free to raise your hand, ask me a question, interrupt me. That's absolutely fine. Now, before we start, I want to ask, would anybody want to tell me about why you have picked software engineering as your stream of learning, or what do you think software engineering is all about? Anyone? It can be any weird answer. Absolutely fine.
I picked software engineering because originally I wanted to do computer science. I've been interested in it since I was in middle school, 9th grade or 8th. I've always been into maths, and I thought that, this is like super interesting.
Okay.
That's basically it.
Okay, what's interesting in that?
I just like crunching numbers, I think. And other than that, of course, as a Gen Z, like computers and software have been developing really rapidly around the time that I live. So it's just fascinating to see how it's developed and how I might be able to contribute in that when I grow up, or contribute in my own way.
Lovely. Lovely, that's sweet. Anybody else? Don't tell me money. Money is the reason. It can be. It can be.
The systematic way to design software. I guess that's just what software engineering is for me.
Okay. Okay. And why did you pick this stream? Is there something very fascinating about this field?
I chose software engineering because on the engineering field I really like just coding and anything tech-based in general. So that's why I chose software engineering stream.
Anybody else? Anyone? The ones who are totally engrossed with their laptops. Anybody, would you like to speak something about this? Okay. All right. Okay, fine. So I get it. Many people have a clear understanding of what that is. Some people, like most of the people, don't have a clear understanding what software engineering is all about. Like, what is computer science all about? You know what is civil engineering all about? It's all about construction. You know what mechanical engineering is all about? It's all about machines. Everything is tangible. But when it comes to computer science, what is tangible? The computer. But the computer is not software engineering, right? There's much more that goes into it. Okay. So I'll make it a bit different. It'll not be very usual lecture for you. So I'll make it slightly different. So we'll do a quick exercise. I just want you to close your eyes, okay, if possible. I'll not take much of your time. Just close your eyes. Just sit straight, back straight. Just close your eyes, please. We'll not play any prank on you, okay? I'm not part of any group here, okay? Just close your eyes. Keep yourself stable. Hands, legs, body. Don't make any involuntary movements, okay? And just feel your breath. Just feel your breath. Just feel it. Don't think anything. Just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Just feel it. And now you may open your eyes. Did anybody feel anything special? No? No? The usual stuff? Okay. 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 But did you realize that all these actions are happening involuntarily? We take it all for granted. They're just happening. They're part of our existence. Okay? We might complain about lesser grades. We might complain about our parents. We might complain about siblings. We might complain about our computer. We might complain about, I don't have my latest phone model and things like that. But what we forget is we are living through an evolution. Okay, so you are part of that evolution, I am part of that evolution, and then the past generation were part of that evolution. And we are living that evolution, by the way. And whenever you are sitting in front of your computer, maybe complaining about, some website not working fine and all those things, but you have to realize that the device that you're holding has been work of billions and billions of people who have worked very hard to get you there. I want you to understand the seriousness of this. So the device that you're holding, maybe it's your phone, maybe your laptop, whatever it is. So this is like a gift of nature for you. Gift of billions of people who have worked before you. They have looked at different problems that they face on a day-to-day life, big or small. But they have tried their best to solve a problem. So that's where the idea of computer science starts. Now, the reason I asked you to close your eyes and feel the breaths is your body is your hardware. Your mind is your software. Okay? It's your software which makes your body work. So you may breathe in, breathe out, input, output. But what is driving that? Have you ever wondered? I would say 99.9% of the people out there, we take it all for granted. We assume mind works, brain works, body works, the world works. I can crib about the small things in my life. But then do you realize that 99.99% of the system all around us is working perfectly fine, flawlessly. Hence you are able to enjoy life. And yet complain about that small 0.001% of things that are not happening as expected. Okay? Now that's also part of life. Problems make you feel more alive. Problems make you feel more connected. Okay? More concerned. It keeps you grounded. So hence problems are very much required. Okay? Now, why am I telling you all of this? Eventually, I'll converge all of these things to my career, to my field of learning. So I picked up computer science at grade 11. Okay. Now, I had a choice to pick up biology or computer science, and that time, this was in 1997, if I remember correctly. I finished my 10th grade with good numbers and good marks. And I was like, what is that next I want to do? Computers were not a big thing at that point of time, by the way. So it was just a beginning of computer era. But then I could see that things are going to change drastically. Call it intuition or whatever it is, your smartness or whatever, you being up to date with the technology. I picked up computer science, and it's been almost, if I start from my 11th grade, it's been almost 20 plus years that I'm connected in this field, and I'm loving it. And I'm glad that the way the things have evolved in the last 2 decades is phenomenal. And let me tell you very clearly, the next couple of, forget decade, next 5 years are going to be significantly innovative, very different, and probably disruptive in many ways, that whatever you know till now will change. Probably the cars that you are seeing all around, you don't even need a driver's license eventually. Like, I'm sure most of you have, but the younger generation may not have to have a driver's license because everything will be self-driven cars. So what is software engineering? So software engineering for me, I'll give you a very elaborate definition from my point of view. It's where you learn the art of evolution, how it has been engineered, how it is happening in the first place. Use that knowledge and know-how into your devices. It could be a computer, a mobile phone, it could be any other IoT stuff that you can think of. So everything is computer science, computer engineering, software engineering. Now, if you want to really excel in this field, you better look at life very closely, look at problems very closely, think of solution very intricately, because that's where you are going to excel. You might be good in one programming language today, that may be outdated tomorrow. Somebody else will come with something much more innovative. Why is that? Because that person didn't like the existing programming language and he or she just picked up something totally different based on their learnings, based on what their professors taught, what their parents taught, what the nature taught them to them. So I'm sure most of you might be thinking, you know what, you finish off the degree and then you work for the big companies, right? Well, I'll tell you a very harsh reality. Like, some of the biggest companies don't innovate anymore. So they're just busy making money. It's a small to mid-sized company which are focused on people, their problems, and then they are the ones who are going to make it really big. So think innovation, think people, think problems, and think how you can solve them, how you can use technology to make the best of this. So that should be your mindset. And then if everything goes right, either you will be hired by a very big organization or you will start your own organization if you're really passionate about it. And then people out there are happy to fund you if they think you have the right mindset and if you really are looking for solving certain problems. Now, coming to my core aspects of quality assurance. When I did my engineering, there was a small, probably in the end of my textbook, there was a small chapter on software testing. Mostly we'll be focusing on development, software design and other stuff. But then there was a small chapter on software testing. I didn't know how important that is. Every time you buy something, you look for quality, right? Everything that you look for quality. Be it a laptop, a phone, a table, a chair, whatever you pick up, right? Can anybody tell me what quality is? I know answering what software engineering is was very confusing. This will be much more confusing. Anybody can tell me what quality is? Just take a guess, whatever you think. It can be very simple, A plus B is equal to C, or anything a bit more intricate. What is quality? I'm happy to see a lot of blank faces. Well, still give it a try. Yeah, sure.
Characteristics or properties that make something work properly to their intended purpose.
Wow, that's a lovely definition. Love that. Love that. So one thing that you said, characteristics, properties, and then purpose. You see, you use very heavy words there, which I like it. Cool. Anybody else can be as deep as that definition or as simple as that? Let me think. Okay, if I pick up this marker, what will make sure that this is a good quality marker? As simple as that. Any simplest of the simple answers. Yeah, sure.
It can be right on both.
Yes, absolutely. And is that it? You want to complicate it further?
And the ink can be erased easily.
Cool. See? 2 points. Another thing again?
It's easy to write, easy to hold.
Easy to write, easy to hold. Okay, then I'm sure you can add 2 more. Just think again. What about the color? What about the color?
You mean a design?
Design. And what about the color? Like say if I wanted say a red color marker, and so definitely you will care about the color of the marker, the ink. And okay, so you see it started with a very simple requirement, right? Very simple requirement. It should write. Simple. And then he slowly, you know what, if I give this to him, he'll say, oh, this is not a good marker, I'll pick something else. Though it writes, it has the right color that he wants to, you can erase it. But then he'll probably pick this one. So what makes this different from this? Anybody? So I have just 2 markers. I'm not even talking about computers. I'm not talking about mobile phones. I'm just talking about 2 markers. So some people might pick this marker. Some people might pick this marker. Why would that be? Yeah? Preference, right?
Also the price.
Price. Any other reason? Yep. Brand. Okay, brand. Anything else? Anybody on this table? It's a very simple question. Some students seems to be flushed out. They're like, no, I have no clue. Come on, guys, give me some answer. Any weird, funny answer should do yourself. Okay. Okay. So I got few answers from you. But you know what is the underlying thought process? The requirement. When you say preference, it's basically requirement. What is your requirement? Somebody said price, somebody said brand, and somebody might say the color, some might say it should dry quickly, some might say it should dry quickly, it should be rubbed quickly, and all those things. So the crux of it is requirements. Now requirements can be tangible and intangible, explicit and implicit. You might say, I'll tell you a good example. I went to an event recently, and this guy who was a speaker, he got the marker, he wrote everything, and once the event was over, we tried to rub it off, we couldn't rub it. It was like permanent marker. Now everybody started asking, who got this marker in the first place? Somebody started asking. A young kid was like, I got it. It was a Sharpie, basically, permanent marker. And I said, only thing that we can do for that board is write, sorry, we tried. Yes. Though we didn't write, I said, that's the best thing we can do because it's permanent now. You can't remove it. So the idea is you have to narrow it down to the requirements. What is your requirement? So I hope everybody knows software development life cycle. Yes? So what's the first stage in software development life cycle? Anybody who has not answered? Come on. I hope everybody knows, yeah. I knew it in my 11th grade.
It's like idea or planning.
Okay. And next, what would be the next step?
Probably like announce to your stakeholders, get your requirements. Well, that probably comes first, obviously, get your requirements.
Okay. So there you go. You answer it. The answer is requirements gathering, right? It could be anything, that whatever you want to do, there's an idea that spins up in your head. You eventually decide that, oh, what do I do to do this? I need to jot it down. What many people don't realize is 90% of the times you just take it for granted. I need a marker, I just go and bring it. But the more you do requirement analysis, the lesser you have to spend time later in the cycle. Just like I gave you a very simple example of that permanent marker. Had they discussed, okay, we need a marker which can write on whiteboard. Get it clear. Understand what is required, what is the context in which it's been asked for. So you have to have a holistic understanding of what's happening and what needs to be done. So now once that you have done your requirements gathering, the next thing is SDLC, software development lifecycle. What's the next thing?
Wasn't it just ideation? I mean, ideation in reference to the requirements, prototyping, or not really prototyping.
Okay, you can call that, but basically you develop and start developing on those lines. You can call it prototyping, you can start developing, designing, whatever it is, right? So you start getting serious. So requirements are something which you need to gather based on your experience, based on the statistics that you have to gather all of it, okay? And then you have to start thinking of how the solution would look like, how your software would look like, how your mobile app would look like, how your anything, a table, chair, whatever, right? And then while doing your requirements analysis, I said there are implicit and explicit requirements. So you have to be very clear what the customer told me to make, okay? And then what are the other things that he or she didn't tell me? So it's a lot of work on your part to do all that, understand. I'll tell you why this is important. The more work that you do initially, you'll do less work later on. Once you have gathered your requirements to best of your knowledge, when I say implicit, explicit, when I say explicit, it is more about somebody has told you, like it's like a login page. So when you create a login page, what do you have? Username, password, okay, cancel button, right? That's your explicit requirements. But what is implicit? What is not told? When the user puts a tab, it should move from username to password. Then you push tab again, it should go to OK, then to cancel. Something like that, right? And the size of it, and what characters should it accept, all of that. Nowadays, you might take most of it as for granted, but then people have worked through. Now that all of those things are taken care of, all the requirements, most of them are taken care of, what is your job? To make sure that all the technology that is already there is being implemented to best of your knowledge. Now let me get to the next thing, which is after requirements gathering, you get into design, you get into the development side of things. Like every step is intricate, and more you focus on each of these steps, the easier it becomes later on. So once you develop an application or a website or whatever it is, then you do quality assurance. Now what is quality? Quality is an intangible. I got few answers which were very beautiful. It's an intangible entity. When somebody, your friend might say, oh, those are nice shoes. But somebody else might, oh man, I don't like them. So what makes it good or bad is intangible. It's your preferences. You can't make everybody happy. So when you get into quality assurance, you are chasing an intangible entity, trying to make everybody happy. You know, there are so many branded phones out there. Why do people pick up iPhone mostly? Can anybody tell me? Why iPhone is such a, buzzword? Why is it a status symbol? If it is. I don't believe in all that, but then the society does. Can you tell me, anybody, why iPhone is such a big thing? Yep. Brand value. Okay. Anybody else? Apart from brand value? What is, yeah. Right, ecosystem. Yeah, okay, that's good. Anybody else? Okay, let me say there's another company called Oppo, right? If you know, they make good phones for the price that you have to pay. But then still they're not as popular. Why is that? They're cheap. They do whatever they have to. You can make call, you can browse, you can do whatever other stuff. You can play games. But still, you're ready to shell out 2K on an iPhone. What is that? Brand. Now, what does that brand signify? There's only one thing that signifies that. It is quality. You pay for quality, and you can go to any extent to pay for that. So the reason I'm into quality assurance is the very reason. I feel one thing that differentiates from one thing to another is the quality. Now, what is quality? Is simple. Expected versus actual. What do you expect? A girl there gave me a wonderful in-depth answer, but then in simple words, it's expected versus actual. I expect this, whatever. This is my budget. This is my look and feel good about a phone or an app or a whatever website. That's what I expect. And when I get what I expect, which is actual, I say it's good quality stuff. That's it. And then expectations, expectations. I'm sure your parents have expectations from you. Hence, they might be happy, they might be disappointed at the same time. Someday they'll be so happy, oh my God, my daughter, you're the best thing in the world. My son, you're the best thing in the world. But then some days they're like, oh my God, I don't want to get into it. I'm a father myself. I get into these things all the time. So it's very, very tricky. And what we are doing, the devices that we are using, they're part of an evolutionary process. And when you're sitting here, right, you're part of that evolutionary process. You are committing that I will do whatever it takes to create a better society. That's what you're signed up for. You're not signed up to do some programming, do some coding, some requirement analysis, or work for big organization, become a millionaire, billionaire. Let me be very clear about becoming a millionaire or billionaire is not the best thing. Bill Gates is not the happiest man on earth. It's those who connect with people, create solutions, make them happy, and feel a sense of gratitude inside, compassion inside, And when you do something for them, you feel happy. And now backed by technology, if you can do that, nothing like it. And I always tell this is the golden era of human civilization. Because we are at a very interesting crossroads. If we do everything right, especially the younger generation like you, the next future generation are going to thank you for that. Or on the flip side, the AI stuff, which is scaring many people, right? How many of you think AI is good thing? Can you raise your hand, please? Okay. And how many of you think AI is a bad thing? I feel free, yeah. It could be only one hand, absolutely fine. What about other people, like those who didn't raise your hand? I would assume you think AI is a bad thing. Yeah? Feel free to raise hand. Like, you know what? I'll raise hand both the times. If I was sitting there, I would say AI is a good thing, AI is a bad thing. You want to say something about it?
Hello. I like AI and also dislike AI.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I used it in my assignment and then it changed my code
Mm-hmm.
and causing me a bad grade.
Okay.
I asked it to make some comments on my code and then it modified my code.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So there's a good use case right there. See, it's like having a car, right? When car was invented, half of the people hated because they were riding horses, chariots, or whatever you call them. They hated car. I'm like, who drives something like that? And now look outside. I had a hard time driving from my house to here. I was like, oh my God. I left my hometown, Bangalore. Like, if you know Bangalore, it's the IT hub of India. And I would say it's the biggest IT crowd in the world. I left that city because it became like huge with traffic. And today, after a very long time, I drove on a P-car and I was like, oh my God, I love public transport. Now, that's the reality, okay, of any technology. Initially, you will love it. You will learn Gen AI, you will learn the new languages, you'll excel in it. In between, you will continue using it, and in the end, you'll start hating it. So I was surprised when the younger generation said, they don't like AI. If I was in your place, I would love AI. But then the older generation, oh my God, it is going to take away our jobs. It's not. It's like having cars. You ride a horse, or you have your cart or whatever, and you're making good money. And then car comes in. You think, oh my God, this is going to take away my job. But did it really take away his or her job? Or is it a technology which is empowering the society, right? So if you adopt early, you learn more about it, you start contributing, that's where you are going to make the best of it. Are the cars best thing that have ever happened? No, there were a lot of accidents. Probably there were less accidents happening when there were horses and stuff like that, bullock carts. But then there is a beneficial side to it as well. Same with AI. It's a two-edged sword, will be a wrong word, but then it's a two-edged solution. And everything has goods and bads. So do you and me. Like this chair, nice chair. But when I'm walking past it, it might injure me, right? So is it chair's mistake? No. So we as conscious human beings, it's our job to pick the right thing, make the right use of it. And then there are always people out there who will misuse it. And that's the society that we are living in. You can't escape that. You can't. In near future, you may have flying cars. And initially, it will feel the resistance. And then later on, You'll see, oh, your son or your daughter wants a car, like that. So adapt to the latest technology, find out what is what, and then have the right mindset to implement it. Okay. Now I'll get into very specific software testing here because that's very close to my heart. Now, what is software testing? I told you what software engineering is all about, how the evolution has happened, and how things needs to be working. What is your role in this whole evolutionary process? So software testing is just finding expected versus actual. So it's art of you finding out what is expected. You sit with the stakeholders, the business analysts, and then get the requirements right. You sit with them, understand the whole thing, and then you put yourself in the end user's shoes. You understand what does that end user want? What is the web page supposed to do? What is this app that I'm building will be used by? And what are the end users look like? There are a few organizations where the end user for the product that we were creating were homeless people. I was working with New South Wales government, and the website that we were developing was for a housing department, and this whole website would be used by homeless people. They are homeless. Do you think they'll have necessary gadgets? So you have to think all these things. So I have to think cross-browser testing, cross-device testing, cross-operating system testing, different versions of browsers, different versions of operating systems, all that had to be tested extensively, manually to start with, but eventually automated. And eventually we successfully delivered it, and then there were no defects whatsoever. That means expected and actual did meet. And if there's a defect, there's something which is happening unexpectedly. So that's quality assurance for you, and that's software engineering for you. Now again, the answer might sound very elaborate, the answer might sound very intricate, but that's the answer. That's the world that you have chosen. That's the life that we are living. There are many things we understand. There are many, many, many things we don't understand. And then there are many, many, many things which we don't even know that we understand or don't understand. Okay? So just good luck with your journey. Good luck with your learnings. And then it's a wonderful world that our predecessors have created for us. Make the best use of this technology and use it to create a very bright future for the future generations. Make sure our planet is the best place to live as it is, and make it much better. See how you can help farmers, how you can help laborers, how you can help the kids, how you can help the elderly people, how you can help yourself, your family. Create something nice to ensure that we are building a perfect world for everybody else. Cool. Thank you so much for your time, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask, because I can get very technical. I know almost every other programming language out there. I have dealt with some very initial when I say initial, when I started my career, I worked on very latest technology, but it's in Melbourne that I've got to work with technology which pre-existed before me. I worked for companies like Tabcorp. You know Tabcorp, right? You all get holidays for Melbourne Cup, right? You must be knowing. You must be thanking them. So the engine that they have is 70 years old. I'm not 70 years old. Okay, but still I had to work with that. I had to see how I can improve the whole quality assurance side of it. So you can ask me any question. I'm more than happy to answer. Be it tech, non-tech, futuristic, past. I'll try my best to answer. Any questions? software testing. Oh, love it, love it. I mean, how, his question is, how is AI going to influence software testing? By the way, in Melbourne, with all due respect to the companies which are working here, I'm so disappointed by the pace of evolution that is happening in the world, but it's not as fast in Australia. But having said that, now that you are connected with the entire world, I'm reaching out to every other company out there, be it Canada, Bangalore, my hometown, and any other city, even UK, US. I'm talking to people how AI is going to help. And I have seen a few of the products that they have created are phenomenal. You have to tell, okay, this is my login page, please create test scenarios for me. So it will just generate for you. But is it taking away your job or is it making your life easy? I think it's making my life easy. If I'm billing my company for writing test cases again and again, copying, pasting, and all those things, I'm doing injustice to my company. Now that the code is generated or the test cases are generated, my job is to look through it and then execute them. And it's not easy, like as you said, it might generate some random content which is totally irrelevant, but that's where you are pitching in. Like, I'm not riding a horse all the way from my house to here. I'm driving a car which has cruise control. I'm just sitting there, right? So yes, am I jobless when I'm doing that? No, I'm not. I have to be there, I have to be attentive. Now, when self-driving car comes, the scenarios may be different, but then you'll be doing something else sitting in that car. So it is a great, many people are afraid, like many testers, a lot of testing jobs are going, by the way. But then I'm saying they're going because you are using outdated technology. You don't want to keep yourself up to date. If you keep yourself up to date, learn the new technology, understand what is coming, make the best of it. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Sure.
How does your day-to-day life as a working in quality assurance sort of work? Like, do you go find clients? Do your clients find you? Like, what do you do on a daily basis?
Okay. What do? I follow my passion. Full stop. Whatever I think is right thing. If I need to talk to a certain person, I'll go and chase that person. And if some people reaches out to me and I think there's a good value addition that he or she may do to what I do, I'm more than happy. So, and again, there's no fixed answer to that. It's like you have to keep yourself open. You have to talk to more people, understand what they are doing, and you never know where the magic is coming from. Sometimes I talk to a few people, I think that's where my business is going to come, but somebody else I had just had a conversation randomly calls up and says, hey, you know what, please help me with this. So it's very interesting thing that we plan our lives, but then life happens while you're planning. So do your best, make your due diligence checklist, continue doing it, and if something works out good, that's your lessons learned. But then many times things happen without your knowledge. Appreciate that. Any specific questions? Any which programming language is good, or how do I code? I can get into coding. I love coding, by the way. Any other questions? I think, yeah, the lady out there, she has, you have any questions? Come on, it can be funny, weird, whatever. Okay. Yeah. So what was my path? What was my path? Okay, as at least at that time when I passed out, it was developer is what everybody would become software developer. So I started with that. But it was only when I joined a company, which was actually IBM. If you might not know 100%, there's a IBM Rational Tools. Okay, so Rational was a company which was creating these quality assurance tools, and then IBM bought that company, and then the owners of that company were jobless or whatever, they were kicked out or whatever it was. But then they started their own company. And I joined that company, and then that's where I got exposure to, oh, there is something called automated testing. What is this? And the lady out there, she said a very good answer. It's about understanding the characteristics, attributes of different things, and then work with them. So then I understood, because I always think like even if as a student or a newbie, when you buy your sunglasses, those expensive sunglasses, you're so particular. Oh my God, it should look good. It should not wiggle. It should not, it should look nice and all those things. So there is your quality mindset all the time. And I was like, and then there is something called automated testing. So I can code, I can think of quality, I can think of end users, I can think of requirements, and I get a holistic view of what is that I need to do, instead of just sitting with the code or my IDE, whatever I'm doing with. So that's the whole journey for me. And then it's been almost 15 plus years that I've been in software quality testing, test automation. My company name is Test Fast. So the name itself should tell you like how passionate I am. But yes, it has its own ups and downs. Like any job, you pick any job for that matter, you will feel enthusiastic sometimes. You will hate few aspects of it. But as long as you know what you're doing, just stick to it and you'll enjoy it. Any other questions? Anybody else? This table, quite a few. Are you twins, by the way? Yeah. What are your names? Sorry. Okay. Nice. Do you guys have any questions? No. You look like copy paste, by the way. So, you know what? I mean, just being funny. You both can have a T-shirt, Control C, Control V, or Command C, Command V. That'll be a good one to have. Like very geeky, by the way. That's geeky side of me. Any question? Come on, one last question. I'll just wrap it up after that. A lady there, I think you have some question. No? No? Okay. And let's just wrap it up with few things. And actually, this was part of a talk that I gave. Is got an automation tester. Okay, so that was pretty intense, and I don't want to dwell too much into the content. So if you want to reach out to me, just okay. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, if you Chetan, if you invite me again, probably I'll make that as a topic of discussion. But then, if you want to reach out to me, search me Vikas Joshi on LinkedIn, or say Vikas Joshi Testing, Vikas Joshi Test Automation. You'll reach out to me. And then there's a group that I run called Software Test Automation Group. Okay, and the logo, everything has changed a lot. So we organize regular meetups. So feel free to come and join and attend these, and then make the best of it. So we talk the best and latest in technology, and your Professor Chetan is also going to talk in coming days, rather day after tomorrow. So your feel free to come because I'll be the other side of the city. But you can join online if you want to, and then get the best of it. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. And good luck with all your careers and your learnings and education. Cool. Thank you.
I'll quickly take that, and also it's been a pleasure for all of us, Sharit and Zach. Yeah, interacting with all of you over the semester. Good luck with your submission on Sunday. Reach out on Ed if you have any last minute questions. There are still some chocolates remaining.